Good morning, I'm Isaiah Jacob. Yesterday, Ohio State rolled Indiana 91-78. Bruce Thornton scored 25 points and became the all-time scoring leader at Ohio State on this play.
47-33, Ohio State with 45 seconds left in the half. Thornton, three, left point, nails it. Bruce Thornton, now the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history with a three-pointer from the left point. Bruce Thornton. 50-33, Ohio State with a lead.
The Buckeyes will be back in action this week in the Big Ten tournament. The Blue Jackets dropped a heartbreaker last night in overtime against the Utah Mammoth 5-4. The CBJ play the Kings tomorrow at 4 p.m. Ohio State women's hoops lost to the 2-seed UCLA in the Big Ten tournament yesterday 72-62. And the Columbus Crew back in action tied with Chicago last night 0-0. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is the Fan Call-In Show.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
This is the show that allows you to be the star. This is the Fan Call-In Show.
Oh, baby, on a year where college basketball has produced at maybe an all-time high level, we have had a heck of a start to March. And from last Sunday to this Sunday, the narrative about the Ohio State Buckeye basketball team has totally changed. And I don't know if my thoughts on this basketball team have changed too much, but they are a team now that I believe with these last three wins and the way they've won them, they are firmly in the NCAA tournament now. And it seems that's what the numbers say. And they do so yesterday by, to me, beating a team that was your basketball rival when I was growing up. I understand that Michigan is your rival, but Indiana and Bob Knight were the games of consequences when I was growing up, and then it went away for a little bit, but beating that team, doing so the way you did, and the moment for Bruce Thornton to become the all-time leading scorer at Ohio State, it maybe almost the perfect time in the game so you could celebrate him at halftime. It was a great day in Columbus yesterday for sports, and we're going to get into that, but what a great moment for the Ohio State basketball team.
You couldn't have scripted it any better, Ryan, in how he broke that record, right? And as soon as he got the rebound and was bringing the ball up the court, me and my son are in the basement, and we're screaming, right? Pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. And of course, he pulls it and he hits it, and we just lose our minds. It's one of those moments that, like, I will never forget watching Bruce break that record. And just how he did it was extra cool. I'm so glad it was on a three at the end of the half, and it was on a big run, and it was to beat Indiana and get this team into the tournament, and with Bruce Thornton Senior Day and Bobblehead Day and all that stuff. It was just the absolute storybook, perfect way for him to break that record. And you're right, Ryan. You said it exactly right when you said, what a difference a week makes.
Yes.
Because I'm sitting here last Sunday, and I was getting ready to go to the Purdue game. And, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, this is such a big week for Ohio State hoops. If you could somehow pull off 2 out of the 3, you had Purdue at home, you had at Penn State, and you had Indiana. And you're sitting there, and most people, I think, gave Ohio State a very little shot of beating Purdue last Sunday. And they do so. And
you were very confident, though. But
yeah. And then you do so, and then you leave no doubt, because that game at Penn State is always a tricky one. Ohio State generally struggles on the road. It's an arena where there's 200 people in the arena, and you can kind of hear the people in the first couple rows talking to each other. It's so quiet in there. And then to come away with leave no doubt in that win. And then yesterday, Ryan, where you have the first sellout at the Shot since 2022, and there was no letdown, right? There was no letdown. It was tight early, and then Ohio State pulled away, and the entire second half was comfortable. So it was a storybook day for the Buckeye basketball team yesterday.
There is a lot to talk about this morning, and we understand it's earlier. I mean, same time, but a little earlier than normal because we sprung
dark out there
forward last night. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, what's different on this drive in today? But the Ohio State basketball team, Jake Diebler, what a job he has done here in these last 3 games. At least you had Blue Jackets last night, Crew first home opener, their first home game of the season. The Arnold Classic was in town. Downtown was hopping. The Arena
Yes,
District was insane last night. There are so many things to talk about. Miami and Ohio, a classic on Friday night. We want to hear from you. 614-821-9710. Again, that number 614-821-9710. You can also join us by hitting up the YouTube chat over at 971thefan.com. And Scotty, we've got prizes.
Yes, we do. Of course we do. We've got passes to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we've got gift cards to the O on Lane. Great pizza, great food. They have wings. They do catering now. It's fantastic. So give us a call, 614-821-9710. I want to talk about Ohio State hoops, but we can get into all that stuff because you and I were texting back and forth on Friday night. That OU Miami game was incredible. Miami ends up with the perfect regular season and kind of a interesting end to that game, but it was a fantastic game to watch. But yeah, so Ryan, the fact that yesterday you have the first sellout in years, and I know the shot takes a lot of criticism for how big it is and how, for regular games, it just kind of can feel like a morgue, right? Can feel really, really quiet in there. I will say, when you have a big game like yesterday, and I keep going back to games in history where it was Ohio State and Illinois when Matt Sylvester hit that shot at the end to beat number 1 Illinois. And I think back to some Ohio State Duke games where Duke came in here and lost. And how crazy the shot can be on a sellout, on a huge game. I know it takes a lot of criticism, the shot does. But yesterday, pretty awesome to see.
Scotty, I remember specifically an Iowa game, and this was probably, I don't know, probably the early 2000s. But Iowa came in here. Iowa was ranked 8th in the country, and I think Ohio State was in the top 15. So it was a pretty big game, Saturday night. The atmosphere in the shot was electric. And I've always said, does the shot have its faults? Sure, maybe. Should they have thought more about the basketball team, that was going to be the home and building an atmosphere for it rather than concerts and making money in other ways? Maybe so. But when you put a good product on the floor in that building, it gets loud. And when you have big-time matchups in that building, it gets loud. So I have never been one of the people that are on it's all the shot's fault, that's why we have no atmosphere, this and that. The shot is, maybe it's not the greatest college basketball arena. It's a nice arena, though.
Yeah.
And it's stood the test of time as far as that because it's an older building now in the, the way arenas are for that kind of thing. But when you put a good product and a good game in there, it delivers.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy is despite the fact that it holds 18,000 and you had so much going on in Columbus with the Arnold in town, with the Blue Jackets, with
and
the Crew.
All of it sold out.
And it was all sold out. And those tickets to get in yesterday were very, very expensive. Like I love the fact that we had such a buzz yesterday in the city, and you're selling everything out, right? That's a really cool thing. Now, I want to bring up the NCAA tournament and Ohio State's prospects and where kind of things stand real quick, because last Sunday, you and I were sitting here, and I pulled up the odds on Ohio State to make the NCAA tournament, and they were plus 160. This was before the Purdue game. Ohio State was plus 160 to get into the tournament, which kind of equates to about 35 to 40% chance of it happening. Well, now it's 99.99% chance of it happening. And of the bracketologies, we bring up the bracket matrix. This is the one where it takes 101 different brackets, averages things out, and kind of spits everybody's predictions out. 101 different brackets out there. 101 have Ohio State in the tournament at this point. And now we're seeing them kind of shoot up to around the 9 seed, 10 seed range. Joe Lunardi, who's probably the biggest name in the bracketology world with ESPN, currently has Ohio State updated as a 9 seed in the NCAA tournament. So at this point now, you're comfortably in. You are locked into being the 8 seed in the Big Ten tournament, meaning they will play at noon on Thursday for their next game. And Ryan, what's great is this team is crazy hot right now, and they're playing their best basketball at the absolute right time.
614-821-9710 is the number. Let's go out to those phone lines for the first time this morning. Let's go out to Andrew. Andrew, I'm going to give you a little sounder here just because it's March and we want to hear some basketball. What do you got for us this morning, Andrew?
Love it. Speaking of product, I think Columbus has just been putting on a product. Jackets, Buckeyes, USA, Canada, women's soccer. I love it. Shout out to Bruce. I think that he deserves this. I'm glad he got it. The Buckeyes, I talked to you guys about a week or so ago, and I was disappointed after the Virginia game, effort, and just they look like a different team the last few games, and I'm excited for him in the March Madness. I hope they do something. I don't think his record will ever be broken again with the NIL and people leaving. And, yes, that game on Friday, OU and Miami, was insane. Loved it. Almost went down, but didn't make it. I'm skeptical to see how Miami does in the tournament. But awesome weekend, and thanks for letting me talk, guys.
Andrew, thank you so much for the call. We really appreciate it. There was a lot there. Scotty, there was also a lot there with some of the things you said, so I want to touch on that as well when we come back. 614-821-9710 is the number. Gino, see you on the line there. We will get to you next as soon as we return. It's the Fan Call-In Show on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We have a simple formula at Shelter Insurance. Provide personalized coverage at great rates with local agents to help you choose the coverage you need. And if the unexpected happens, fulfill our promise to be there when you need us most. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
College. A time to broaden the mind, question, learn. A time to challenge the status quo. And eat a ridiculous amount of pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of The Ohio State University and the unofficial bank of pizza. Let's go Bucks! Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit OutdoorStewards.org.
It's March. Send it in, big fella. That means the greatest sports weekend of the year is coming, and the best place to set the puppies and watch the tournament is at Hollywood Casino Columbus. I'm Scotty Vegas, and Thursday through Sunday opening weekend, kiss the kids goodbye and hang out from noon to 5 with the Fan at the Hollywood Casino Sportsbook. A Bill Raftery impersonation contest, free throw games, free shirts, and more. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. Onions!
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hi, it's Common Man.
And T-Bone.
Hey, Pizza Madness is here.
Yeah, the brackets are live now at pizzamadness.pizza.
Vote for your favorite pizza place and then be very angry when it does not win.
Brought to you by Billiards Plus.
We're hiring at Don's Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at donsgaragedoors.com.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are looking at sunnier skies as we head into this afternoon with high temperatures right around 60 here for today. And then for tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine and warmer temperatures back up to near 70 here for your Monday. And we'll keep 70s in the forecast here for Tuesday and Wednesday. However, we are tracking a good chance for showers and thunderstorms arriving for Tuesday night into Wednesday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan. Back to the show of the fans, by the fans, and for those crazy fans. This is The Fan Call-In Show.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
What a sports day in Columbus yesterday. Buckeyes, looks like they've locked up their bid to the NCAA tournament. Bruce Thornton passes Dennis Hobson, becomes the all-time scoring leader in Ohio State history. You also had a wild night at Nationwide Arena with the Jackets, where the Jackets get a point. They fall in overtime, and then I believe the Crew, it was a 0-0. They call that nil. Tie in soccer, and of course the Arnold Classic going on. So a ton of things going on in Columbus. A ton of things to talk about this morning. 614-821-9710 is the number to call. We've got gift cards to the patio and pub on Lane. We've also got Pro Football Hall of Fame passes to give away to some of our favorite callers. Again, 614-821-9710. Let's head out to those phone lines and let's go out to Gino. Gino, a little Bill Raftery for you. Onions! How are we this morning, Gino?
Doing well. I'm just wondering, the poor guy that probably paid $100 that was in the top row of yesterday's high state game can definitely tell you he heard that dunk when Bynum came down low. And I tell you what, after that dunk, they were actually afraid of him.
Yes.
He was coming with authority. That dunk, I don't know. I'll ask you guys, what do you like better, a dunk like that or a Mobley half-court three-pointer?
Oh, great question, Gino. Let's hook up Gino with a gift card to the O Patio, because I will tell you what, you're right, Gino, that slam dunk. And I'll tell you, the broadcast did a great job of re-showing it. And I love the fact that they kept talking about the sound that it made when it went through, and it was one of those that was just absolutely ridiculous. I'm thinking back in the shot, in the history of the shot of huge crazy slam dunks, and Sam Thompson was a guy who had a ton of Slam Thompson had a ton of those like crazy dunks and things like that. But that Amari Bynum dunk was one of those that was just, you're not going to forget, right? And the timing of it and everything, it was just absolutely ridiculous. And let's talk about Bynum.
Yep.
Because before
18 points, 9 rebounds yesterday.
Yeah, I remember before the season started, we were talking to Jake Diebler, and we talked about who are the guys that we are going to see make a big jump from last year to this year. Now, Bynum's a freshman, but he immediately brought up, I want you to watch Bynum develop throughout this year. Now, he's like, this kid, the athleticism for Bynum and the intelligence and the ability to actually knock down the three and get to the rim, you are going to fall in love with Amari Bynum. And guess what? I'm in love with Amari Bynum, because what he did yesterday was spectacular. And the way he's playing down the stretch, you always feel like that when you get to the tournament, you need those elite dudes, right? And Bruce and Mobley, those guys are playing amazing too. But if you add in a third like Bynum and you have Royal, you have got a team now that, look, the goal was to get into the tournament. Now we're starting to see expectations change a little bit, that this is a team that's playing well. Maybe they can do something. Maybe they can win a game or two and make a little bit of a run based on how they are playing right now.
Amari Bynum, he's really impressed me down the stretch here with his three-point shooting.
Yes.
Actually, which I didn't think we would get a lot of three-point shooting from Amari Bynum. But yesterday, to me, the biggest thing in his game was the rebounding. And I think there's, in these last 3 games, but kind of down the stretch with Ohio State, I think there's been 2 very important things here. One of them has been rebounding. And a lot of times rebounding is just a commitment and an effort. And I don't know what's happened with this Ohio State team. Maybe it's just, well, the back's against the wall. We got nothing else to do but to go out on our sword. But the effort from this Ohio State team seems to be there more here down the stretch. And you're seeing that in the rebounding. The last 3 games, Ohio State has won the rebounding battle. And that's not something they've done all year long. There were a lot of games where they got out-rebounded by a lot. So that has been very impressive to me to see the effort on the rebounding. The other thing to me, and I understand they've gotten more healthy, and health has to do with this guy as well. I remember talking before the season, and I thought that Tayson Chapman was going to be an X factor for this team, because you know what you were going to get with, you thought you knew what you were going to get with Bruce and with Mobley. And it took Mobley a little while. There was some inconsistencies, some up and downs in the beginning, but he's been really solid here the second half of the season when he has been healthy. But Tayson Chapman was like, you got to have that third guard. Who's it going to be? And early on, it ended up being Gabe Cupps, because you weren't getting anything really from Tayson Chapman. Tayson Chapman's a kid that came in as a really high recruit. I think we kind of forget about that. And just injuries. He was injured his last year of high school, had a couple injuries here at Ohio State, missed a lot of time on the court, a lot of development time. He's a guy that seems to be comfortable now, and he's a guy that's giving you 8 to 10 to 12 points off the bench pretty consistently now. That is huge for this team, because you haven't had that all year, especially since Brandon Knoll left the lineup.
It is huge, because it did feel like, especially in January and all the way up to about mid-February, the narrative, and it was true, was you would look at the bench and you would see 0 points off the bench. You would look at the bench and you would see, in the entire 40 minutes, you'd see maybe 2, maybe 4 points out of the bench. And now you're starting to see that production because of Chapman. And I want to go back to Bynum for a second, because that dunk was absolutely enormous. But his 3-point shooting since that Virginia game, Ryan, he is 12 for 21 from 3. Now he is great. He's athletic. He's as you mentioned, the rebounding. He had 9 rebounds yesterday. He had 6 against Penn State, 5 big ones against Purdue. But it's that outside shot that is really, really developing for him. And to go 12 of 21 over his last 7 games from 3. And then think about this with Mobley, too. Since he got back from his injury, he was going into last night's game. He was 16 for 24 from 3 going into last night. So he gets back from injury. And I'm glad you brought up the health, because that is so important. This feels like the first time in a very long time, maybe even since the start of the season, that this team is really healthy. And
they're not all the way healthy.
Jake Diebler has given an update, too, that Brandon Knoll is likely to be back with the Buckeyes, maybe even as soon as for that Iowa game for the Big Ten tournament. That's big, because you add another piece, because the one thing that you look at with this team, you love the backcourt, right? You love Bruce and you love Junie, and you love the fact that you got Chapman developing. So you got the backcourt's fine. You're seeing Bynum develop and become a superstar. You got Royal. It's really that depth up front that you kind of, Nagovin, he's giving you some minutes. But if you can add Brandon Knoll back to this rotation and he can give you something, then you're starting to see a little bit more depth as well. And then it's a really dangerous team.
And we talked about the rebounding. Brandon Knoll's a guy who averaged 8 rebounds in his career before coming to Ohio State. He's a guy that can help you with that rebounding as well.
Good passer, too.
And we know when he gets hot, he can light it up quick, too. And it's just another guy, as you mentioned. I still look at this team. Bruce Thornton, 39 minutes last night. I know that's not ideal, especially when you're playing better teams and you're in a Big Ten tournament where you could play back to back to back to back if you get on a run. So even just having Brandon Knoll in there, another guy that can spell Devin Royal, give you more minutes on the wing. Maybe you can sit Bruce out and have Chapman and Mobley in there a little bit. Give those guys, just the more pieces you have, the more quality pieces that you have, it helps you out a lot with all of these guys and dispersing the minutes, which, again, in a tournament situation, you're playing a lot of basketball.
No question. And we want to hear from you this morning. Let's celebrate the huge night in Columbus. Let's celebrate the big Ohio State win. Number 614-821-9710. Prizes on the line this morning. We've got passes to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We got gift cards to the O Patio on Lane. Hook us up, 614-821-9710.
I know it's early, but some of that pizza from the O Patio sounds good.
See, I like the wingy. Scotty like wingy.
Oh, there we go. We can do that too. We can do both. They go well together. Again, 614-821-9710. You can also say hello in the YouTube chat. Hello to Sage, who was over there this morning in the YouTube chat. 614-821-9710. More of the Fan Call-In Show in 2 minutes on the Fan.
Save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Transform any room with window images, blinds, and shades. We have everything you need for updating your window treatments. We carry vinyl, aluminum, and faux wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Plus, get them trimmed to width in store for free. View our entire selection of window treatments today on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, what are those?
Those are what are known as toilets, Jerry.
Ha ha ha. I know they're toilets, but why are they sitting back to back like bookends?
Congratulations, Jerry. You said the magic word.
Get Eco.
Bookends? Bookends is the magic word?
Take a seat, Jerry.
I choose this one.
A good choice. That is the world's most luxurious toilet.
Really? How much is it?
$6,500, including installation.
What? For $6,500, this thing would have to iron my shirts, shine my shoes, and sing happy birthday to me.
Get Eco.
It does way more than that, Jerry.
I'm switching to the other one. How much is this one?
$650, including installation.
Wow, that's a great deal. What does it do?
It does exactly what you would expect, Jerry.
Huh. From $650 to $6,500. Eco has a toilet for everyone.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Common Man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. Ever want to be a radio star? Or at least hear your voice on the air? Perhaps embarrass all your relatives? This is the Fan Call-In Show.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
It is your show. It is the Fan Call-In Show, 614-821-9710. As always, with all of our shows, there is the Fans YouTube as well. You can get in there and chat with us. Let's go back to those phone lines. Let's go out to Lon. Lon, good morning. We'll give you a little Gus here this morning.
Lewis has been awesome. Let's it go.
Hey, good morning, Lon. What do you got for us?
Good morning. Well, I've heard you talking about the game last night, and I just wanted to say back when Dennis Hobson started playing as a freshman, it just really looked like he was going to be a phenomenal player. And that's what Maury Bynum looks like to me, because I'm thinking, he should play more. He started developing the three-point shot and really did a great job. And it's exciting to see someone like him with the Buckeyes.
You're right, Lon, and we're going to hook you up with a pair of passes to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We appreciate the call. Phone lines are open, 614-821-9710. And I do feel like, Ryan, if the Buckeyes are going to make a run in the NCAA tournament and in the Big Ten tournament as well, that Amari Bynum might be the most important piece to that run, as far as he's got NBA talent, right? Yep. He's the guy that you're like,
he could be a pro.
Yes, that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, if he continues to play the way he's playing, and again, yesterday, 18 points, 2 of 3 from 3, 9 rebounds, thunderous dunks, incredible defense. He's the guy that you look at and you're like, all right, you have the great backcourt, right? You have the experience, you have the shooting, but if you can add that third level of, you also have a pro out there on the court in a tournament game. Now, where is Ohio State going to be seated? You're probably looking at, let's say they make a little bit of a run in the Big Ten tournament. They'll play probably Iowa on Thursday. Ohio State's locked in as the 8th seed. They'd likely play Iowa on Thursday. And then if you win that game, then you're playing Michigan. I like that because that gives you the opportunity. You're going to play a 1 seed, a team that's going to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. How much does Michigan care about the Big Ten tournament? Because no matter what their result is in the Big Ten tournament, they are locked into a 1 seed. So how much do they care about, really peaking and performing well in that tournament? We'll see. But if you can get that shot, that third opportunity, remember, Ohio State played Michigan pretty well for about 35 minutes up in Ann Arbor. Here in Columbus, totally different story. That was an ugly one. But if you get that chance and you can upset maybe Michigan in that quarterfinal, then you could maybe see that seed jump to like a 7, maybe a 6 seed in the tournament. So that's how big this next week is. If you don't do anything, let's say you get to the Big Ten tournament, you lose to Iowa, you're probably looking at that 10, 11 seed range. So that's kind of how big this next week is. I think they could work their way all the way up to maybe a 6 at best, or sit there at a 10, 11.
I tell you, and I think for me and Ohio State, you just focus on Iowa right now. Yeah. I don't want to look ahead to Michigan because I don't love that matchup, quite frankly. I think Michigan, and this pains Buckeye fans to say, I still think they might be the best team in the country. I know they lost to Duke a couple weeks ago, but their length and their athleticism is just so impressive to me. But you talk about Amari Bynum, you need a guy like that to counteract what Michigan has. And you talk about if there's a pro on this Buckeye team right now, it's probably Amari Bynum. Physically, he's the one with the size and the athletic ability that's going to be able to do that. I'm excited to hopefully see Amari Bynum's development here into, this tournament run, whether it's Big Ten, NCAA tournament, both this tournament time here in March with him. And he was great yesterday, as we talked about, but then his development going in through his sophomore year. And then does he go pro or would he come back for a junior year? Who knows? I just hope we get to see that here at Ohio State.
Well, and one of the cool things about yesterday, and sadly, Ryan, this is going to be so rare in college basketball, where you have Bruce, who went through 4 years here. I mean, incredible, breaking the scoring record and the way he did it with the 3 at the end of the first half. It was a storybook, awesome moment. But what's crazy is you're just not going to have guys that are going to have senior days that played all 4 years or 5 years, however long they were in a program to start at Ohio State and end at Ohio State. You just don't see it. In fact, this number is wild. Across major college basketball, there were only 22 high major scholarship players who celebrated their senior night this week. And it was 22 amongst the major conferences: Big Ten, Big 12, Big East, ACC, SEC. Only 22 started with their program and celebrated their senior night with the program.
And what's crazy, 10 of those are in the Big Ten, 5 of them between 2 schools in Purdue and Michigan State. So that's it's just a different world. And Bruce was kind of the perfect storm, right? Bruce was a guy that is a really, really good basketball player, but unfortunately probably isn't a pro, and definitely for this senior year would make more money playing here at Ohio State now than if he went pro, tried to go make an NBA team or go overseas, and he happened to stay. He happened to be loyal to his program, wanted to be a Buckeye, and I think that will never be forgotten here at Ohio State. 614-821-9710 is the number to call. Ohio State and Bruce is a great story with him making the NCAA tournament, we believe, here for the first time in his senior year. I think maybe the craziest story in college basketball is Miami of Ohio. 31-0. What is it, like the 6th team ever to complete a perfect regular season with 30 or more wins? And somehow they just keep winning these close one-score games. I will admit I was not locked into the whole game Friday night, but I was locked into the final 5 minutes and overtime, and it looked like OU had the perfect shot at the end of regulation to beat them. Pavletsky, it goes wide, and they win in overtime, does Miami. It's just a crazy story what this Miami team has done. I think even if they lose in the MAC tournament now, they're going to get into the NCAA tournament, and I think they should.
I'm with you that they should, based on going undefeated. Now, the knock on them is the schedule, right? And comparing Miami, who goes undefeated, to a 9th or 10th team from, say, the SEC or even from the Big Ten, comparing the two teams. It's, which story do you want? Do you want the team that's basically 500 in Auburn, or do you want the team that is Miami that's gone undefeated? Now, to be honest with you, if Miami was matched up with Auburn and we were putting a betting line out on that game, Auburn would be significantly favored, right? I think they would be favored, no questions asked about it. But the story, the NCAA tournament is all about stories. That's what we fall in love with about. And so the fact that you're going to have an undefeated team, at least through the regular season, I actually think that there's a good chance that the best team in the MAC is actually Akron. I watched Akron play. They're a really good team. I'm hoping that we get 2 MAC schools in the big dance. I will tell you, though, I do think that once Miami gets in, I would be very fearful. I think I do not think they're going to win a tournament game. If they are, say, an 11 seed in the NCAA tournament, I don't think they're winning it. because they keep pulling off these really, really close wins. And I just feel like once they play a really tough opponent like a 6 seed, like a 5 seed in the tournament, I think they're going to be in trouble.
I think the issue with Miami in the tournament is, and I think they'll be able to score on just about anyone. Now, Michigan, Arizona, those teams at the top, it might be different. But most of the teams in the NCAA tournament, I think Miami of Ohio is going to be able to score with them. The problem is Miami doesn't play any defense. And when you get a team, a bigger resume caliber team, they're going to score a lot of points on you because OU scored a lot of points on you, and a lot of teams in the MAC have scored a lot of points on you. But this Miami team is a fun team to watch. And in the tournament, if you've got guards that can shoot it, and Miami has a whole team that can shoot it, you're a dangerous out. And they're also an experienced team. So, I mean, that's been a recipe here recently in the tournament, experienced and shooting that has done well.
And that's what gives Buckeye fans a ton of hope going into this tournament because it's about guard play, and you have the experience that Bruce has, and you have the shooting from Mobley, and now you're seeing Bynum get hot. Like, that's what gives Ohio State all that hope is just how well they're playing in that backcourt, right? Because we always talk about the tournament and backcourts. Ohio State's got that backcourt.
614-821-9710 is the number to call. Brian called that number. Good morning, Brian. Let's give you a little Dickie V this morning. How are you, Brian?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing great, my friend.
So, yeah, it's really been enjoyable watching this team this season. Obviously we've had some ups and downs, some highs, some lows, and I really love Bynum. I really love Mobley and these role players, but I don't want to get too attached because what's stopping, a Michigan or a big-time program from offering, Bynum or Gabe Cupps or, Nagojevin, the bag after the season, and then they're gone. And then, we had some chemistry, and then all of a sudden we don't anymore.
It's a good call, right? That always is going to be a concern for every single team out there, right? I mean, that's the deal. I do think you gotta prioritize who you're spending your money on, and I think Ohio State absolutely knows they want Bynum back, and so they're going to spend the money. Now, does that mean certain people are not going to be back and get a certain amount of money? Absolutely. But Bynum's a kid that you prioritize, right? You make sure that he's taken care of. Probably, Ryan, you almost have to think you take care of Bynum first for next year. Him and Mobley have to be back. Those are the two that you absolutely circle like, okay, absolute must have back. And you've got the recruits, right? You got kids coming in, but those are the two that you've circled of must be back.
And that's the reason earlier when I'm talking about Bynum, I hope we get to see that development because you talk about Michigan and the length, and obviously you got freshmen. They're freshmen coming in, just like Bynum this year, but Bynum, pretty long, athletic. Anthony Thompson, 6'9", long wingspan, can play inside and out a little bit. He's pretty long. Alex Smith, the kid from Upper Arlington that's down in Florida this year, prolific prep. He's 6'9" and a long kid. He kind of reminds me in the way he plays of a Christoph Tilley. He's not going to be a guy probably that's in the post, but good off the pick and roll, a slasher kind of kid. So you're getting a team that's longer and kind of fitting that mold of some of the better teams in college basketball. You're right. Who knows what this roster is going to look like? College basketball, maybe more than any sport, is a year-to-year sport now, and your roster can transform so much over an offseason.
Well, and I think back to Bruce's freshman year in the class that Ohio State had back then, right, where you had Felix Okpara, and you had Roddy Gale, and you obviously had Bruce, and you're thinking, okay, this is the group that we're going to watch over the next couple years. And then, kind of surprisingly, Roddy Gale left, and even more surprisingly, he went to Michigan. And then you brought in a couple guys, and then basically, Akpara felt like, okay, well, I don't necessarily fit in anymore. So you're right. Like, we don't know what this team's going to look like. I will tell you, I daydream thinking about next year's team, with Mobley and Chapman in the backcourt and Bynum and Anthony Thompson and Devin Royal. And, so I am daydreaming of next year's team and thinking of how good it really could be. However, we have no idea how the money is going to play out for Ohio State hoops in the NIL. So we can plan and hope and think about who's going to be on next year's team, but it's really just a lot of hope.
614-821-9710 is the number to call. Probably got a spot for one, maybe two more before we're done today. It's the Fan Call-In Show on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment
on any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyears and save up to $160 more. See store for details.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I have some basic expectations at my house, one of which is that when I come in from outside, it feels more comfortable in my house and not feel like the temperature outside. I don't think that's too much to ask. However, if you have old, drafty windows that are letting in some of the air from outside, your house isn't as energy efficient. Your house won't stay the temperature that you're setting it at. You can help address that by getting some new windows from Window Nation. Window Nation has high-quality, energy-efficient products, and with one simple consultation, their experts will visit your home, find your problem areas, and make recommendations. Plus, once you find the windows you want, they can be installed within 1 day. With Window Nation, your house won't just look great, but you'll also have peace of mind because all Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. Plus, in March, the more you buy, the more you save. Up to 50% off all window styles. And be sure to ask about Window Nation's generous financing options, including $0 down and payments as little as $199 a month. Schedule your free consultation today. Go to windownation.com.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Columbus, you hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers. From now to 3/31, get a buy one, get one free deal on Manhandler Skillet on the app. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh, no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Statistics show that roughly 20 veterans die by suicide every day in the United States. Canines for Warriors is the leading nonprofit organization providing highly trained service dogs to veterans with PTSD and other invisible wounds of war. Backed by scientific research, Canines for Warriors has transformed the lives of more than 1,000 veterans, helping them reclaim their independence. To find out more, please visit caninesforwarriors.org.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Your kids and spouse might not listen to you, but we will. This is the Fan Call-In Show.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Thanks to everybody that woke up early with us this morning, even after losing an hour of sleep. We love you for that and making the Fan Call-In Show what it is. We've got one more call we're going to get to here this morning, but first, Michael chimed in over on the YouTube chat with a couple things, Scotty. He says, Bynum looks different. I hope he does stay. He says, as for Bruce Thornton, he's on the Mount Rushmore of OSU Hoopers. That's a hill I stand on. And then he says, as I say this, think about it, Bruce Thornton to OSU hoops is what JT Barrett was to football. And I think those are all very good points. The only thing I will say, however, is for Bruce on a Mount Rushmore, I think the Mount Rushmore of Ohio State basketball, to me, is non-negotiable. It's Jerry Lucas, John Havlicek, Jimmy Jackson, and Evan Turner. Now, I'll hear arguments for other people, but it's tough to say Bruce is on the Mount Rushmore and then compare him to J.T. Barrett. And I love J.T. Barrett, but J.T. Barrett isn't near the Mount Rushmore of Ohio State football either.
I do love the comparison, though.
It's a great comparison.
With Barrett being such a beloved Buckeye, a guy. You know, the other thing that's rare with Bruce, and we talked about how there's only 22 major high-level college basketball seniors that are celebrating Senior Day this week that started with that school. Only 22 amongst 5 different conferences, which is pretty wild. But the deal for me, the special thing about Bruce is the fact that, like, he started from day one. Basically, you know, the fact that he came in here and it was 4 years and starting for 4 years and leading the team. And Jake Diebler kind of talked a little bit about this when he was talking about Bruce and how Jake's trying to build his program. Right. We want Jake to be successful here and be here a long time and all that stuff. And to build a program, you need a guy like Bruce, a leader, because not only is Bruce a really great player, but also a great leader and a guy who's kind of has stepped up when so many guys in college hoops leave, right? To stick it out, stay with the team when, quite frankly, we were thinking about, oh my gosh, maybe Bruce should have gone somewhere else to get to the NCAA tournament. Well, no, he stuck it out. And now, guess what? He is going to dance.
And it's a great story. And it's one of the stories that we've kind of lost in college sports, but it's one of the stories that we love in college sports as well, is the perseverance from someone maybe a little bit of an underdog, and they finally get their goal. We lost James, who wanted to talk about some Buckeye NIL. There's 2 things I want to touch on here, Scotty, before we end the show. We talked a little bit about the Miami of Ohio and Ohio game on Friday night. I love this Miami of Ohio story, but I'm not going to lie. The actions at the end of the game the other night have gotten me a little down on this Miami team, and maybe I'm just old and get off my lawn guy. And I understand that's a big rivalry. I hate the disrespect, though, that we see in the world in general, but especially sports, like in these rivalry games. Rivalry games used to be tough, hard-nosed, but respectful. And I think that at the end of the game, the throwing things on the court shouldn't happen. But I think at the end of the game, the middle fingers in the air and the FUs and this and that, I just don't like it. I hate it. I hate it when we see the ugly side of the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry with people just being disrespectful to the other side. I dislike that a lot. And to me, that Friday night just put a little dent in this Miami season for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I am an Ohio Bobcat, right? And
you used to be one of those little disrespectful kids at the Convo.
And I will tell you right now that I was in the student section for 4 years, went to every single OU home game. That student section can get pretty rowdy and mouthy, and I was a part of it.
It sounds like it was.
I was a big part of it. You know me. But here's the deal. I am with you. Like, I hate that ended the way it did. Look, going to show up the other team's student section after the game, I don't even hate that. Kind of staring them down, kind of yelling back at them. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just would have liked to have seen the Miami players immediately after the game go through the handshake line, appreciate what a great college basketball game that was on Friday night, acknowledge the teams, and then you can start doing your chirping and yelling. Now, I could do without the middle finger and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And the throwing stuff on the court, absolutely stupid and ridiculous. But I'm okay with the chirping. I just didn't like that they didn't do it after acknowledging the Ohio Bobcats and what a great game that was.
And the last thing, I know we've talked about it a lot, but yesterday was a crazy day in the Arena District with everything that was going on. And I believe Columbus proved that it is a big-time sports town. And I know the Columbus Sports Commission does a great job with getting events here. Columbus needs more big sporting events, more big-time things happening, because there was a lot going on in the Arena District yesterday. Traffic was a little crazy, but it's always going to be that way when you have so many people in one spot. Columbus is a big-time sports town. It deserves more.
Ryan, within about a mile, you had a Crew home game. You had the Blue Jackets at home. You had the Arnold going on. And just, 2 exits down on 315, you had a sold-out Schottenstein Center. What an awesome day for Columbus.
Don't go anywhere. Scotty's sticking around. Dave Biddle is coming in. On the Money is next. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the Fan Call-In Show on The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.